Get ready with me whilst I get you ready for the Azerbaijan F1 race weekend. From the 19th to the 21st of September, F1 will be taking to the street circuit known as the Baku City Circuit. And on the Sunday, drivers are going to be completing 51 laps. The Baku City Circuit is one that I really think about in its sectors. Sector 1 is kind of a mix of the next two sectors. It's made up of a number of straights. And so in this sector, there are some great opportunities for battles and overtakes, especially as both DRS zones are in this sector. However, this sector has some sharp corners, so they're really going to need some heavy braking stability and good traction, or else we could see some mistakes. In sector 2, it gets narrow and there are minimal runoff areas, so precision will be key, as it is pretty easy to make mistakes. Also, there are a lot of slow corners here and a very pretty castle. Finally is sector 3. Though there are technically 20 corners, many consider turn 16 to be the last proper corner on this circuit, so it's basically just a very long straight, and that means we're going to be seeing some high speeds, and that gives way to some nice overtaking. However, given how the sectors differ, teams will need a compromise in setup. Sectors 1 and 3 require a low downforce setup, but sector 2 requires a high downforce one. Another big talking point about the circuit is its safety car probability. All of the races apart from 2016 have had some kind of safety car, and 2 out of the 8 weekends have featured a red flag. So it's pretty likely that we're going to see at least a safety car during the race. And the reason for this is because the layout, for example the closed walls, make crashes a lot more likely. Although apparently they've made some changes to the track this year to try and improve safety. Moving on to the tyres, Pirelli have selected the C-Force to the C6s, which means that we're going a step softer than last year. So I think we're going to see 1 and 2 stoppers, but I do think that a 1 stopper is still more likely. Now tyres are a really interesting one at this circuit because they continuously go through a heating and a cooling cycle, which is primarily because the layout of the circuit means that the temperatures really vary over a lap. For example, cooling on the straights and heat in the heavy braking zones. So tyre temperatures can really catch drivers out, especially during restarts and qualifying. Also, because of the heavy braking zones, we might see more locking up on flat spots than we normally see during a race. Moving on to the weather, it should be in the mid-20s, sunny and a light breeze. However, the temperatures across the circuit can vary because the buildings throw quite a bit of shade. Also, a little fun fact for you, the meaning of the word Baku is often related to the word wind, which should tell you a lot about what we can expect. And finally, who is most likely to win? It's likely McLaren. But at the same time, they're quite likely to come from the front row, and Charles Leclerc has the best pole record here.